I'm so excited today to be here with Christi. She is a dedicated floral entrepreneur who has learned that a healthy, thriving floral business doesn't have to be time-consuming or stressful. I think we could all take a page out of this book. Over her 30 plus years in the industry, she's had the pleasure of being a multiple seven-figure business owner with experience in floral retail shops, floral event business, and in-house hotel florals. She's now a floral coach and a mentor running the Floral Business Academy, as well as the COO of EMC International, a floral school that provides master certification in European floral design. Christi, welcome to the show.
Oh my gosh, Francesca, it's such a pleasure to do this with you.
I'm so excited. And I love that you're actually one of the only guests, but I love the fact that you are a woman and you are showing up and you are announcing that you are a seven-figure business owner. I love that you have put money attached to this and also told us that it does not have to be stressful or time consuming, because I think we, especially as women, need to be reminded of this. So thank you for doing that.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I think it's something we should consistently remind ourselves about, and then remind other women too, especially other florists.
Absolutely. That's why, this whole thing is about consistent income. So I'm so happy that you're here today. I want to just dive right in. We know that we're out of 2020. We know we're going into 2021. I've heard it like dubbed the roaring 20s. Everything is coming back. Where do you personally see the floral industry headed?
Well, I think for me, when I look at it, I look at the opportunities for us as creatives is endless. And I think that one is creative thinking, or I call it, like brand thinking, right? Where you have strategy, design, and growth mindset. All three of those are what encompass us to be able to move forward in our businesses. And if we don't have that creative verve, I guess, that's what's going to keep us from being able to move forward in our industry. If our industry, they're already teaching robots how to put flowers into vases.
Wow.
So what separates us from a robot? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's a good question.
If that is the case, then our creativity is the only thing that will separate us. And so not only do we have to be creative in our design styles and in what we do, we have to be creative in how we market ourselves, and we have to be creative in how we do business. So I think creativity in that is the main word here to be able to survive.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, Ryan O'Neill, founder of Curate, everyone's going to be rolling their eyes because I've mentioned this phrase now in almost every episode since that, but he had this mantra almost that I was like, oh, I just love it. It's with constraint comes creativity. And it couldn't be better said than now. And I love the fact that you're encouraging creativity, and creativity can actually be our strength. It can actually be, what really sets us apart, kind of gives us that edge and makes us uniquely us that nobody else really has. So I love that you brought that up. Now, I am so excited to have you on the show. You are a veteran almost in our floral industry, still looking very fabulous. Okay. But you've had over 30 years of experience, and that's a lot more than probably a lot of our listeners have had. And I want to know, when you started your career way back when, 30 years ago, what is the one thing that you wish you would have known that you now know today?
Well, I wish I would have known that in order to thrive fast and grow faster, I needed to have a better handle on the business side and finances, especially. Taking to heart the COGS, the cost of goods, right? And where those fall in place, based on where we're, what you're doing. And I think probably out of that means that it's not about you, it's about your client. And
that's so good.
if you can actually take what you know and really be unique, but then somehow bring that to your client to make them shine,
Yes.
that's really what's going to happen, right? We need to shine ourselves when we share our brand, but when we actually have a client, we need to shine them.
Mm-hmm. I
So,
love that you say that. I always say it's, I mean, especially for the hospitality industry, but we have to come from a place of service.
mhm.
And, you know, I saw that with my hotel clients when the pandemic hit. It was like, how can I meet you where you are right now to serve you today? Not worrying about what it is that I needed or what we would need in the future, but where they were, and how can I make you shine today? So I love that you brought that up, because I think as new florists, floral designers, business owners, we get so caught up in what it is that we need to deliver, even if it's just to deliver on something, but not necessarily thinking about what it is exactly that the client needs to shine. I love that you
Yeah,
mentioned that.
I think that too, like, since so much of what you do is around hotel floral, right? One of the biggest things that I learned in that is that some days when I would create the lobby decor, it would be show stopping. It would be something that was different. And then sometimes I'd have conversations with the GM and I'd be like, okay. And he's go, Christi, this one's a little bit different. And I go, yeah, it was. Were people talking about it today? And he goes, yeah, they were. And I said, exactly.
Yeah.
That right there, like, you may not necessarily think that design appeals to you, but for your clientele, the people, are they talking about it? Are they looking at it? Are they
Are they
taking
taking photos
pictures?
of it?
Yes. That's what's going to be like, okay, we've got it. This is a repeatable. But I had 6 designs that I would just rotate out
That's
every
clever.
every 6 weeks would be a different design. So
I love that. Wow. I just kind of, well, right now it's a little bit difficult with the markets, just kind of wing it with whatever is out there. And I landed some beautiful king proteas, and I mean, massive, like bigger than my head, and
oh
with
my
great
gosh,
price.
gorgeous,
So I was
gorgeous.
like, here we go. And I thought people were going to think they were weird, but literally the front desk couldn't tell me. And the GM, they were like, people were just constantly up here taking photos with it. And like, they'd never seen anything like this before. And so yeah, I don't know. I need to think about 6-week rotation. Now you have my wheels turning.
Well, what was great there is that sometimes the hotel would have, some people would be there the same week of the month.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you went on a 6-week rotation, it really would mix it up, and they wouldn't necessarily, if you happen to have the same clients come in, they wouldn't see the same thing.
Of course.
So it really
Yeah.
made a huge difference.
Makes sense. And it makes everything predictable for you, which is very, very helpful.
Yes.
And it
Now,
saves time and it
yeah.
automates your business.
So the flowers would change. Like, I wouldn't necessarily have the same flowers 6 weeks from now on that same design, but the design format or
Mm-hmm.
the
The
style, the
vases.
construction, yes, would be the same. It would be a repeatable, but it would come around 6 weeks later.
Yeah. I think
So,
one of the account that I've had the longest, we always have so many moving parts, whether it's the different stands or the vases or different types of flowers. So every week I'm tweaking something. I used to do full resets, but then I just realized I don't really have to do that much work. Like, I should probably do full resets every few weeks, but not every week, because
yes.
there's so much you can do just changing the heights of the vases or swapping them around. You're obviously changing the flowers, so there's already a different color scheme in there. So, I mean, there's just so much you can do, and that's one of the reasons I love hotel floral designs, because of the flexibility that you have. And especially in this current market of trying to buy, you don't really have to worry about having specific colors or flowers. Example, king proteas, they seem to be the hot commodity that week.
Yes.
And it makes it more exciting and refreshing, I think, for a designer as well.
And it's repeatable.
Yes.
I mean, that right there, we need to make sure that we have something that we can make money on. If we, as creatives, we want to create all the time, right? But if you could just dial it back and say, okay, I'll get creative with what I can find on the market flower wise, but I've set this up. I would change it out then every year. I would come up with 6 new designs, somehow regurgitating containers or stands or whatever. But of course, when there are special events like, the 4th of July or holiday or whatever, that would
Sure.
probably.
So I love how we just totally
sorry.
got onto another subject, but it's perfect. So now that I know the one thing that you wish you would have known when you started your floral career, and that's really making sure your client is shining, what is the one thing about or something about the floral industry that actually really bothers you? Like constantly takes up space in your head, gets underneath your skin. Everyone has something.
Oh, okay. Well, I think one thing that really bothers me is I'm stepping out on a limb.
I love it. Let's make it polarizing as possible.
The fact that so many don't think that education is necessary. That what I see is a lot of copycats right now.
Yeah.
That think that they're doing something unique and really amazing, but they're not actually. They're using the flowers, and we're allowing ourselves to indulge and find more flowers to use and use locally and everything like that. But the creativity part has really kind of gone out the window. And I just, it's a pet peeve. It's
I love that you've said it though. It's the elephant in the room. It's like I heard this phrase the other day. We all want to be leaders, but we're actually just being led because we're just constantly looking around, seeing what's working for other people.
Yes.
And I tried to do that in the beginning because I wanted to be successful, and I took the courses and I saw the Pinterest photos and all the things. And just every time I made an arrangement like that, it was like something inside of me died. It's not actually what I wanted to do. It never looked the same. And it wasn't until I just kind of came up with my own thing that felt good, that I didn't have to justify, but I liked how it looked. It had impact, is when I felt like I started creating an original style. Yes, I was influenced in a way by other, say, really well-known floral designers out there.
Yes.
I'm not saying I reinvented the wheel, but I feel like I took ownership on designing in a way that made me really feel fulfilled. And I feel like a lot of florists are missing that right now because, like you said, there's a lot of copying and just for the sake of wanting probably to be successful.
Yes. Well, there's that book, Steal Like an Artist. It's really amazing. And we all copy in some way, form, because we're influenced by everything we see. I'm looking out my window. I mean, it's color. We're influenced by color. I look at shapes and forms, one of the first things I see besides color. And I think that oftentimes we think that if we copy someone else that we will be successful, but all it does is just make us always competitive in the same market. There's nothing that sets us apart to be able to, for someone to look at what we do and go, gosh, that's really, there's something about her that what she's doing is just a little unique. I like that. And I think that's really where we should be, and coming up with our own brand, our own story, our own style. Those things are what's going to set you apart and have you stay in the industry for quite a while.
I agree. And I also love the fact that you practice what you preach. I mean, in 2018, we were on a peony farm in the middle of Alaska, and we all had to make
yes.
had to make centerpieces and bouquets. And I mean, my house had just burned down, so I was not in the mindset, and I was just making whatever I could. But
you're still amazed me by that.
But you really created something very, very unique. You took time to implement different types of textiles and, like you said, shapes and color. And really, there was so much thought behind it, but in a very creative, intentional way. And that was one of the things I noticed right away about your work. And it's something I've always appreciated. So I love that you are stepping up and talking about this pet peeve, because I think it can help boost the confidence of so many designers that are maybe intimidated to really step out and try new things. And maybe you could talk a little bit about that. What's perhaps something that you have in your toolbox, like a little arsenal that you constantly use to give you that confidence to not practice what everyone else is doing, to actually go and do what it is and create what you feel called to create?
Well, an inquisitive mind leads to massive creativity, right? So oftentimes, if something comes out of something that I'm trying to do, it may be because I don't know how to do it in the first place. And I was like, okay, there's got to be a way to get this done. I will. And I have no problem after all these years going, hey, Francesca, I've been trying to do this. Like, I'm not getting it. Is there something I'm missing? Like, I may do that, but then I can also say, okay, she did it that way. Oh, but you know what? There's also this. I could try this. And I think being open and adaptive is probably it. But I think that for me, like, this is the one reason why I absolutely loved EMC. And I'm a graduate of EMC. And I, when Tomas asked me to come on and be a business partner, I said, absolutely yes, hands down. What EMC did, and it kind of works with me because I graduated from college with an art degree and a business degree, but I always love art, but I always have this technical side to me. So for EMC, it's not just teaching you how to design with flowers. It teaches you, the fundamentals of design, and then you can think for yourself. So it's where the thought process marries the creative process, and you have that bridge. So I think that's where I think a lot of times most people think in education, you go to school like AIFD, right? You got to learn a bunch of terms. You got to learn the elements and principles of design. Yes. Do we teach that? Yes. But it's in such a way that it teaches you to automatically start thinking out of the box. Your thought process just comes through. And I don't know how else to explain it, because
I think a good way is like trust yourself to think outside the box, and also know that there's no such thing as failure. You either get the lesson that you either get the result that you wanted or the lesson that you needed to learn. And that's it. And even going back to another time we got to design together, I didn't realize how much time that we've spent together at the First Ladies Luncheon. And we had to, you were in charge of creating the floral cascades off the First Lady's table.
Yes.
And you had a great idea. And then we started working on it and we were like, this is not going to work. And you instantly went into like problem solving mode. You're like, exactly what you just said. I saw someone do it like this, but what if we did it like that? And it worked, and it was beautiful, and it was show stopping. And it's something that everyone still talks about because it was different, because you took the chance, you took the risk, and I love it. I love working alongside of you for sure.
Well, I think one thing I should mention, and I find it still true today in everything that we do, there's a difference between confidence and courage. Confidence is something that you get that someone else gives you. Like, I have confidence because I felt I got this feedback. Courage has to come first. Courage, you have to step outside your comfort zone to get where you need to go. And then you gain more confidence by doing that. So like for us, right? We created our courses, we're creating our stuff. It takes courage to step out of your box and do that. And the more things get done, and the more you start to have people that understand and accept the process and you're like, okay, it's doing it, that gives the confidence to keep going. So I think same thing goes with your creativity. Trust yourself
and have courage.
Yep.
I love that. I've never thought about that, but that's 100% first courage. It starts with you, and then everything else is kind of a domino effect. And that's how you gain your confidence. I love that.
Yes.
So, Christi, you're one of my florists on here that have actually worked with hotels before. So please let me know, how can you succeed and flourish with hotel contracts, especially when tapping into their events? I usually just talk about landing the hotel client and talk about how it's great because it's consistent income in your business. I don't even address all the other benefits that come with it, like tapping
Yes.
into their events. So could you elaborate on this for any florist that's considering doing this?
Sure. I think, well, one, I will tell you one mistake I made in signing my contract.
This is going to be good.
Yeah, I didn't ask for first right of refusal for their events.
Ooh, that's a really good thing to have in your contract.
Yes, it really is, because I already knew going into it, one, to have their lobby florals and decor and things like that, but I knew that would be the bread and butter. But in order to grow and scale, doing their events was what I really wanted, because I could really maximize myself. And so doing that, I went to them and I said, okay, I was the only one in the proposal process that mentioned that in the proposal, but I forgot that one little snippet. And it went well, really well, for the first 4 years, until a new event manager came on. She wasn't in the head of sales and catering, but she had a florist that she really loved, that she had formed a relationship with, and they were kind of best buddies. And so she would start referring that florist. And there was nothing I could do about it when she would go ahead and send them over to her first. So I just had to put my big girl panties on and say,
another way to do it,
and go, okay, that's fine. You know what? You're still not going to beat me by what I know how to do here at this hotel to make things gorgeous. And, you've been to the hotel, right? It's historic. Yeah. It's one of the most oldest hotels. Their claim to fame is the second best address in Washington, D.C. And so
do you want to mention the hotel?
Sure.
Oh, okay. I don't know. People listening they might not know. I mean, people are listening.
It's the Mayflower Hotel. Did you know that we're
top podcasts in the UAE and some other international countries? So okay. They might not know.
Yeah, it's the Mayflower Hotel in Washington, D.C. And so we had 6 ballrooms. Wow. And so I knew the ins and outs and how to make those ballrooms shine. And we could have 4 or 5 events on a weekend just at that hotel. And that was my second location. It wasn't my main location. So I really got to just exercise my ability to sell and to make us be hands down the place to go.
I love that. I love that you addressed it. You didn't shy from it. You didn't go into any kind of mindset issues. You just put your big girl panties on. You realized that this was an oversight and you fixed it.
Yeah. And I think that you can do so much. Like I said, let your lobby and your decor for them be your bread and butter, but bring in those extra events, because you can do so much. And I was able to not only get that hotel from doing it, then I was able to sign on 4 more hotels because of what we were doing at the Mayflower. And so word gets out. I'm sure you've talked about that before. If you do a good job at one hotel, they start talking to each other and they're like, okay, well, who's that person?
Yeah, exactly. It's a domino effect, and your work is always on display. And so I've had so much business come from people that have seen my work in hotel lobbies, even if it's been in even just other corporate accounts that have come through, or retail, because they've seen the work, and then they're like, where do we sign? Where do we find this person? And so always think of, that's another great benefit of being in hotels, is your work is always on display.
It allows for residual income opportunities, for sure.
Absolutely. So a lot has changed over the last 3 years, definitely since we've last seen each other. What new and exciting projects are you currently working on?
Well, the best one I think is my wedding sales system, and it really is the most robust system for doing wedding work. It goes from how you get the leads, how you answer the biggest question that most brides have, which is how much will my flowers cost? And it gives them the ability to get that answered before you ever have to start talking to them. It was my lead magnet, essentially. And it just wasn't some simple calculator. It is totally not that. But it goes from the calculator to prepping them on what they do, the pre-work before the consultation, everything that you go into it, how you work the consultation. I do mock consultations, and my mindset, my psychology around it, why I ask what I do, and how I find out their budget, even if they don't ever tell me how much it is. So I do that. And then it leads to how to write proposals to win so that you can fix the issues that are happening right now with scarcity and things like that. All the way down to how you book the sale, how you review a proposal with them. It's the whole gamut. And so that's the course I have, the wedding sales system.
And I'm going to jump in real quick, because this quote unquote calculator you're talking about, when I was still doing weddings and events, you were telling me about this, and it was just, my mind was blown. I was like, wait, so they actually get to go in there and like play with numbers and figure out their budget before you even have to speak to them. So I really believe in your systems. I know they're tried and true. And anybody that is listening, even though I'm a big component of consistent income.
Yes.
I'm also a component of, if you want to do weddings, then obviously I want you to be very successful. And I know that your process, especially just that out of box thinking again, has been very successful for you. And I know it can be so successful and help other people be successful as well.
Thank you. I mean, when you solid 90% booking rate.
Yeah.
It took me 10 years to perfect the system, but then another 23 to use it. And that's what I had, a 90% booking rate.
If I wanted to go back and do weddings, I would take this course, hands down.
Thanks. You should.
If I change my mind, I'll let you know.
No, but I know that's what I'm saying. Like, I think you and I think very similarly when it comes to business. And that's why your course for teaching them how to work with hotels, that's how we bonded, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I do work in hotels. I'm like,
you're a hotel person
okay,
too.
Hey, let's chat.
Because when we were together with, groups of other florists, it was still a very kind of new concept. And that was only a few years ago, but I actually just had a student in the Hotel Florist Profit Method tell me the other day, she's like, Francesca, you're going to make being a hotel florist like the new it thing to do. Like, it's going to be the new like trending thing. I was like, oh, well, finally. I mean, it's for the longest time I felt like in the closet about it.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Now there's a whole course. Now everybody the secret is out. So I have to ask you, what is the most useless talent that you have?
Oh gosh.
I love this question.
Well, I can take a cherry stem and tie it in a knot inside my mouth. That
is very impressive. And useless, but very impressive.
Totally useless.
Oh my gosh. Christi, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Floral Business Academy, or on my website at christilopez.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Christi, so much for being on the show today. I know we've all walked away with lots of giggles and lots of information, so I really appreciate your time.
Oh my gosh, it was great to be able to spend time with you.